Man, nothing is going right today. Have you ever had a day when you thought that in your mind? Or maybe it was a week, or a month, or a year, or even longer. Well, if you look at the events surrounding our Savior's birth, the birth of Jesus, you might think the same thing. Man, nothing seems to be going right here. After all, it had been promised to David, King David in the Old Testament, that one day one of his descendants would rule on an eternal throne, and this would be the Savior. Yet by the time that Jesus was born, Mary and Joseph, they weren't really considered royalty. They were just two poor people from Nazareth. In fact, they weren't telling anyone what to do. The Roman overlords did that. Caesar Augustus even declared that they had to go from Nazareth down to Bethlehem for a census. And so, the baby Jesus, he was born not where they usually lived, but instead down in Bethlehem. And when they went there, you might expect such an important person would be received, and put up in a nice place. But no, there wasn't a single place left for them to stay because of all the other people in Bethlehem. So they had to find a little shelter that had an animal's feed trough in it, and that's where they put the baby Jesus after he was born. And even then, you'd think, well, maybe some people then would hear the news and they would come out to visit him. That would be right, and to welcome him. But no, only a ragtag bunch of shepherds came to see them, and they ended up being the ones that told others about the Savior that had been born. Shepherds. So yeah, it seemed like nothing was going right. Except the Savior was still born. As it says in the book of Galatians, "But when the time had fully come, God sent his Son, born of a woman, born under law, to redeem those under law, that we might receive the full rights of sons." We can remember the birth of Christ when we have one of those bad days where nothing is going right. We can remember that even when it seems like that's the case, the Savior still came. And he lived, and he died, and he opened up heaven to sinners like you and me because of that perfect life and his sacrificial death. So even when everything is going wrong, the Savior still came. And I have a future.